Lift the heels up, inhale, roll to plank pose and grip your fingers into the ground. Place the knees down, lower about halfway by bending the elbows. Inhale, push your way back to plank on knees. Exhale, bend the elbows again. Inhale, push back to plank on knees. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Plank pose, inhale. Option to place the knees down, half, or let's say chaturanga, half of a push-up. Push back up on the inhale. And lower chaturanga all the way down. Arms come like boat pose with crossed ankles. Roll. All fours. Cross ankles, boat pose. Roll with momentum. All fours. Come to boat pose for a moment with bent knees. You're gonna choose the crossing which you prefer most, I suppose, for now. And you can do exactly the same thing, but you're gonna lower all the way to the ground or hold while you watch me. Optionally, you can go from here and once your hands come to the ground, you can jump your legs back like so. Okay, so I'll show it one more time. Stay where you are. I'll do the opposite crossing. Once you get your hands to the ground, you can jump your legs back, chaturanga. Or just do exactly as you did, but lower all the way to the ground. So take it as an option. 2 blocks, place them down, shoulder width apart. You're gonna start with your feet about double hip width apart, I should say, and with a halfway lift. And the tendency is when you squeeze your legs toward each other that your legs will tend to turn out like we started with. And that will be fine if your intent would be to activate your hamstrings and your adductor magnus. And it's actually a good drill. But for today, let's make it a little bit more challenging. Try to keep your feet turned in a little bit as you bring them together. So you slide out and back in. And when you go out, lead with your heels. When you go in, lead with your toes. Okay, and you see I'm going a little further and further. I trust that I have the strength in my groins to get myself back in. Okay, I would only go further if you start feeling like this is too easy, okay? And then you test it by going a little bit further and sustaining that for a while. And then you go a little bit further once you feel confident there. But don't just kind of go out, 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 out. At some point, that would become dangerous on the inner thighs. Arms strong like you're in plank pose. Hands on the blocks, grip them, get really like powerful in the upper body, that will help. And then one last tidbit, as you're doing this, make sure your feet aren't sliding back behind you like towards plank. You want to try to keep perpendicular with the thighs to the ground and the pelvis to be more parallel to the ground the whole time, okay? So you're not going back this way as you go, okay? Take the left foot back behind you for modified side plank, right hand down. Now, take a little shorter stance than you normally would. Grip your right hand into the ground. We're gonna bring our right knee to right elbow by squeezing the right obliques. So pull your right pelvis and ribs toward each other. So some of you having a hand on the block for support is gonna make this a lot more accessible. If you can without it, do so. Pull your right knee towards your elbow and squeeze your right obliques. Then exhale, slowly tap the ground just lightly and then squeeze again. Hips should lift up, ribs should lift up on the top side. Use your exhales to crunch. Inhales to slowly lower. Take your right foot in front of you. We're gonna use our right obliques to lift the pelvis up and squeeze the right ribs and pelvis toward each other, oblique muscles. Now, increase this by using your right adductors. We'll revisit some adductor muscles, lift this up. Slowly lower, exhale, lightly touch, lower the pelvis. Again, inhale, squeeze pelvis up to the sky, right foot up, and back down. One more.